Hello, this is Calculus Lesson 4. This is a review of what we have learned, and we do some review practice. In this review practice, there are 3 parts. The first part is to state whether the function is even or odd. The second part is to state the domain of the function. The third part is to find the inverse of the given function. Here is the first part. There are A, B, C, D, and so forth. For each function, we need to say whether it is an even function or an odd function. And for the question 1, part A, here is the solution. So to determine whether it is even or odd, you replace x by negative x and compare the results with the original function. If the result is the negative of the original function, it is called odd. If the result is exactly the same as the original function, it is even. So here is the work for part A. The solution is clearly written, and I'm sure you can follow the solution. So the first one is cosine cubed. So we found it's an even function. The second one is sine 2x. So replace the x by negative. It's an odd function. The third one is exponential function. Replace x by negative x. It doesn't change, so it's even. Part D, it's an absolute value function, and replace x by negative x. The function doesn't change, it's even. The next function, if you replace x by negative x, it's different from the original function. It's not the negative of the original. It's neither the same as the original, so it's neither even nor odd. The next one is again, it's neither odd nor even. The next one is even, and the next one is odd. Here you have 2 functions, f of x and g of x. The given functions f of x and g of x are both even functions. Then what is even or odd if you look at f of x plus g of x? It's even. And if the function becomes f of x minus g of x, it is still even. But if you want f of x and multiply g of x, you replace x by negative x, it doesn't change at all, so it's even function. The next one, you assume f of x and g of x are both odd. Then f of x plus g of x becomes odd. F of x minus g of x is odd also. However, f of x multiplied g of x is even. The next group is to find the domain. For part A, it's a square root function. You know, if you have a square root function, the inside of the square root must not be negative. So based on this, the inside 1 minus 2x cannot be negative. So the result is x is less than or equal to 1/2. And this is the domain. The next given function is a fraction. Then the domain requires the denominator cannot be 0. For this denominator, it is possible to factor it. And after you factor it, and you let the denominator not equal to 0, then the condition is x not equal to -1, x not equal to 2. And these two restrictions gives you the domain. The next function is a logarithm function. So the logarithm function requires this part to be larger than 0. It cannot be 0, larger than 0. So based on this condition, the domain is x is larger than 2. The last part of the review questions is to find the inverse. To find the inverse, you change x to y and change y to x. When you do that, the new y is your inverse function. So the result is this. This is the inverse function. The second function in this group is y equals x to the power 3 to the power x minus 1. And then you change y to x and x to y and isolate y. In other words, you express your new y in terms of x. And the result is the inverse function. So the inverse function is logarithm base 3 x plus 1. That's all for the review exercises. And please do it yourself and look at the solutions as your reference. This review is not too particularly difficult. I hope you will be doing very well. Thank you for watching. I'll see you for the next lesson.